Aerosex is a new air racing series launched by the world's top-level aviation pilots at the beginning of 2023. The series features time attacks flights in actual aircraft around the world and a new style of spectating using the latest XR technology. A new extra-dimensional motorsports that races through time and space like never seen before. In 2024, the series will consist of 3 rounds. And in addition to the winners and losers of each race, teams' attention will also be focused on the championship point competition. In order to win the annual championship, teams are taking on the challenge with a variety of strategies, including aircraft development, race simulation, and expansion of pilot capabilities. The results of the qualifying rounds determine the heat tables for the quarterfinals. The winner is decided by winning the quarterfinal, semi-final, and final. Championship points are awarded according to the rankings, and the annual champion is named at the final of the series round. So let's take a look back at race 1. In the quarterfinals, Yoshi Muroya set the top qualifying time and won the race against Mika Brajo. Matt Hall then won over Petra Kopstein with an astonishing 46 seconds. Juan Velarde won against Martin Schonker, who qualified 3rd. Patrick Davidson won by a narrow margin over Emma McDonald, who displayed excellent times on her debut. In the semi-final, Heat A, Matt and Velarde faced off. Following the quarter-final, Matt was the lone rider to break the 46-second mark to win over Juan. In Heat B, Yoshi beat Davidson to advance to the finals. The final of Race 1 in 2024 was Matt Hall versus Yoshi Muroya, a battle of experienced pilots. Matt starts with a limit speed of 199 knots. He sets a fast pace from the beginning of the race and runs through the track at a high rate. Yoshi, on the other hand, said in an interview later that he was trying to set the best time. The strategy was to use the power of the wind, but he couldn't get the wind on his side properly. He lost a lot of time due to penalties in the early, middle and late stages of the race. Matt Hall won race 1 with his consistent speed and skill. In first place, Matt Hall, and Yoshi Muroya in second, Juan Velarde in 3rd. These are the final results. Patrick Davidson in 4th, and Emma McDonald finished in 5th place in her debut race. Race 2. Teams take part in a time attack at airfields around the world. Advanced flight data is measured and analyzed by a unique Aerosex system. The individual pilots' races are reproduced using the latest XR technology from the spatial layer platform, Styling. You can enjoy racing by using XR's one-of-a-kind technology, such as recreating a diorama of an entire city in your favorite location, or recreating a race in any part of the world. The 2024 season, the championship is contested in a total of 3 race series. At the end of race 1, the points are as follows. The gap at the top between Matt Hall and Yoshi Muroya is just 4 points. These two are placed over the rest of the teams. It will be interesting to see what the team's strategies are, whether they push hard to score more points or whether they take no risks and use race strategies to rack up more points. Race 2 will be an important race that will have a major impact on the future of the championship. Now let's take a look at the teams competing. Number 18, Kopstein Racing, Czech Republic. Petra Kopstein. After failing to improve his time in race 1 and being eliminated from the quarterfinal, he is looking to bounce back in race 2. As part of his training, he also competes in Ironman racings, part of his pilot training to strengthen his physical and mental fitness. Number 11. 11 Racing, France. Mika Brajo. In race 1, a small mistake cost him time. He is determined to make it to race 2 for the championship. The French pilot has been in the air since the age of 11. He also works as a mechanic on his children's racing cars in his private life. Number 8. Red Bull Team Schonker, Czech Republic. Martin Schonker qualified third in race 1 but lost out in the quarterfinal due to lack of time. Schonker is an overwhelmingly competitive racer. Will he be able to show his ability and break into one of the top places? Number 86. Beyond Gravity, Australia. Emma McDonald. The first Air Race X female aviator and Race 1 newcomer, Emma produced competitive times in Race 1. Although she lost out in the quarterfinals due to a handicap time difference, her abilities show she is a real threat. Number 77. Team 77, South Africa. Patrick Davidson. In Race 1, he made it to the semi-finals. Hard to believe that Patrick was the 2023 season's newcomer, as he's fast becoming the pilot to watch. If he can accumulate points in Race 2, he will be in contention for the championship. Number 26. Team Velarde, Spain. Juan Velarde. In Race 1, he advanced to semi-final and is in third position. The championship is in sight. Juan is also an airline pilot and spends time showcasing his flying skills at air shows. Number 31. Lexus Pathfinder Air Racing, Japan. Yoshi Muroya. In Race 1, he made it to the finals. Yoshi gained points for qualifying in first place and is now in second place behind Matt Hall. Yoshi's plan for Race 2 is to be patient and wait for the right conditions to fly. Number 95. Matt Hall Racing, Australia. Matt Hall. Matt won Race 1 with overwhelming speed, including setting the best lap in Race 1. He set the fastest time in the quick turns with precise line taking. Will he continue his good form and pull off the championship? 8 of the world's top pilots. The battle is out for the championship. Race 2, Remote Round, Edo. The filming location is in the Asakusa area around the Sumida River. The streets have retained the atmosphere of old-time Tokyo, Edo, and a new culture is at the heart of the area. It's one of the world's leading tourist destinations. Its history, which began 1,400 years ago, has not faded away. With the XR technology, a new kind of motorsports has been created in Edo. So this is the racetrack. From the start gate, the aircraft moves rhythmically through the 4 pylons in the slalom section. At Gate 4, the aircraft makes a wide turn. The turn will vary depending on the team's strategy. At Gate 5, the aircraft makes a turn. Here too, the line will vary depending on the strategy. At Gate 6, make a big high turn back and continue to Gate 7. Pylon A, Gate 8. Pylon B, Gate 9. Turn wide and go to the finish gate. The track consists of 10 gates, 4 pylons in total. A series of tight turns. It's a very technical layout.
The speed limit for passing through the start gate is 200 knots without penalties. Over 203 knots, the race will be stopped. If a pilot ascends more than 10 degrees or descends more than 5 degrees, they will be penalized. If the pilot exceeds 12G or more, they are disqualified. They must then stop the race and inspect the plane immediately. The digital pylons are positioned 24 meters apart. When a pilot hits one of these digital pylons, they are awarded a 3-second penalty. A pilot flying less than 15 meters or more than 50 meters through the digital pylon is awarded a 2-second penalty.
Air Race X is to be flown at team bases around the world, using an Air Race X system to ensure fairness and safety. Air Race X has developed its own handicap system. Each airport has a different altitude and temperature, so from the international standard atmosphere, we calculated the time difference as a handicap time using an original algorithm system. When competing against each other, the difference between their respective handicap times is displayed.
My name's Mike Galloway. Here's a good view of Martin Shonka, Team Red Bull, as he at his home airport, discussing strategies for this very challenging racetrack, I am told. All the pilots were concerned about this one. And the pylons are placed in such a position that it's not going to be unusual, folks, if we see a pylon hit or two. There they are downloading all the data, going over all their results so far. There's Martin Shonka on the left. There he is doing the simulated flying. This is very important. They will set up a course on the ground and go through the track. So here are all 8 airplanes. This is their qualifying runs, if you will. And check them all out, how they're using different lines, different angles. There's gate number 4. This is going to be a high turn, pardon me, a low turn, but some people go high. Coming back down to gate number 5, they must go through and complete another high turn. They can go vertically over the top, as some do, or they can turn to the right. They cannot turn to the left. Gate number 6 is going to be another high turn. That's very, very critical that they exceed that 500-foot limit. Coming through gate number 7, check this out, no problem, through the pylons. There's gate number 8. One more low turn here. They can go any direction they want, vertical or to the right. They cannot go left. Now it's a big sprint down to gate number 9 for one more high turn. And it's going to be a sprint to the finish. There they go. One by one, all using different strategies, different angles. And you can see that there's quite a bit of separation between first and 8. Coming in, number 8 looks like that is Peter Kopstein. Mika Brujot. So that's the first qualifying heat. Patrick Davidson laying down the time. Race 2 qualifying, we see the results there. Now remember, you want to qualify well because, as we see, Yoshi gets 8 World Series points. Patrick gets 5. Matt gets 3 for their top 3 finishes in the qualifying race, the qualifying requirement. And then you can see the rest of the field. Surprisingly, well, I guess not too surprisingly, Emmett McDonald is there right in the middle, 4th place. I'm a little surprised at Martin Shonka. He has a lot of experience and has won plenty of races on the previous racing circuit. So I'm kind of surprised at his time of 64.75. You know, that's a good 7 seconds off our top qualifier, Yoshi Moroya. All right, Juan Velarde, Mika Brujot, Peter Kopstein, and Martin Shonka not doing so well. Here's your top 3, 60, almost 60 seconds flat. But right behind him is Patrick Davidson and then Matt Hall. You look at those times, that's less than 1 second separating first from third in qualifying. So these guys do have smiles on their faces because they have World Series points already racked up on race 2 just as a result of their great qualifying runs. Patrick Davidson. Oh, that's Yoshi there. Okay, there's Yoshi Moore. Yeah, he's excited. Now, they know how they've done so far. There's Patrick. I jumped the gun a little bit on old Patty from South Africa. He's got a nice smile on his face as he had a good qualifying run. And, of course, there's Matt Hall, the veteran. He's done very well, former world champion, and he's really one of the favorites, quite frankly. All right, so that sets up our matchups. Remember, the fastest goes against the slowest and so on. So two kind of hard races, the Juan Velarde and Matt Hall. Juan's got his work cut out from him. Patrick Davidson and Mika Brageau. Well, Patrick had a pretty good time, Mika not so much, but this one surprises me. Yoshi versus Martin. Even though Martin had a very slow qualifying time, don't be surprised if Martin finds something out, figures something out for his actual quarterfinal heat. He's a very good pilot. And then Emma McDonald and Peter Kopstein. That'll be our final quarterfinal race.
Matt Hall and Emma McDonald are based in Australia. Matt, a former Red Bull Air Race champion, and Emma, who made her race debut last year, are not only rivals, but also mentors and students.
Scary and very intense.
Cool, calm and collected. We're certainly a master and apprentice relationship, but with a lot of respect, and Matt is someone I aspire to be like.
She's developed her racing and aerobatics, following how I do it, but very similar styles.
There are differences. I'm probably not as aggressive and precise as Matt, but certainly working towards that.
Our professional relationship started with me teaching her almost everything about our business. We're now more peers where we share ideas, and I rely on her a lot.
So certainly master and apprentice. So I'm always learning, always got my ears open on how I can improve myself with Matt. He's someone I aspire to be like.
Matt's first solo was in a glider, then fighter planes, helicopters, aerobatics, and air racing, and he continues to live in the sky. Matt was the 2019 world champion when the air race ended. How does he view the fact that a new air race has started since then?
What we're doing with Air Race X is we're doing the right thing. We're bringing it right back to the basics, which is the pilots and the planes. We've got the pilots that have done it before, we're well trained, we're disciplined, and we've got the planes, which are our old race planes. So the planes are set up for racing.
Emma is the head of aviation for Matt Hall Racing and has been flying with a strong will. Last year, Emma was selected as one of 8 pilots to compete in Air Race X out of 47 worldwide who participated in the Air Race Academy.
So how I feel about the revival of the Air Race series, sort of a saviour for me, because when the Red Bull Air Race finished at the end of 2019, that was my career dream that I was chasing. That's where I wanted to take my flying, was to be a race pilot, because I seen Matt do a aerobatic display at an air show at my hometown, and that's when I decided I wanted to do what he did. So I went out and started doing all the items that I needed to tick off to become a aerobatic and race pilot. Started working at Matt Hall Racing and started working my way up, and then the air race finished at the end of 2019, and I'm like, well, what do I do now? So when I heard that Air Race X was starting back up, I was just so relieved that I had something to take my career to the next level, and Air Race X is just been an absolute saviour for my career anyway. And sorry, I just keep thinking.
Yeah. So obviously race 1 went well for us to win the first round. We haven't done anything to the aircraft, so it's still set up the same. I'm flying it just the same, and our training was very good. So I'm confident that we're going to be able to match it in race number 2.
Focus today is safety, flying clean, and having some fun.
We will be keeping a close eye on both of their flights.
Air Race X 2024 Series Quarterfinal. Quarterfinal Heat A.
Did I get a clean run and was I happy with the time? So generally the tactics typically to do a clean run on the first run of every flight, and then if you got a clean run, you then look at your own G meter and decide how much harder can you push to try and improve the time. But if you come out of the run in the first one and look at the RDU and you've got a penalty, you then need to either correct where that penalty was or back off even more to make sure that you get a clean run on the next one.
Before flying, I just focus mentally and I visualize the track several times. I emphasize on the key points in the track, the angles, the speed, the Gs. In this track to gain time are the high G turns. That's where we can really gain time in order to manage the Gs properly, and also the trajectory. We can play with the angles. We can go almost flat or 45 degrees or 60 degrees, and that will make the difference.
Okay, here we go to the first quarterfinal, Heat A, Matt Hall versus Juan Velarde. You can see with the handicap system down there is some atmospheric differences between the two race locations. So Matt Hall's going to be penalized just slightly, but that's okay. It all works out in the wash because it's all about fair play. So this ought to be a really good matchup. Matt Hall and Juan Velarde, two experienced racers going head to head. All right, let's check it out. They're diving into the racetrack, folks, and whoa, look at that, 200 knots right on the money. That is the start speed that you're looking for. You can't exceed it by more than 3 knots or you will get a penalty. All right, you can see that Juan Velarde is slightly behind Matt Hall right now, and he seems to have taken a little bit of a wider turn, and he only pulled 8.9 Gs. Matt, if Juan is not going to pull as hard as Matt, there's Matt at 10.6. You're simply not going to make that turn as fast. Matt Hall has an incredible knack for figuring out how to make those turns. Whoa, we got a little issue there. Looks like we possibly have a pylon hit. We'll have to break that down on the actual post replay. And we have some high flying there. Going through gate number 8, one more turn. All we have now is gate number 9. It's going to be a high turn, and then it's a sprint to the finish. Matt Hall is comfortably in the lead. Again, a nice pull. Up and over the top. And it's a sprint to the finish, but Matt Hall is taking it by storm. And Juan Velarde, sadly comes in second. There's a good look at Juan Velarde right there after his race. Was not too happy with it, I can tell you that for sure. There's Matt Hall. He feels pretty comfortable with his race. Well, looking at the replay here, you can see Juan Velarde starts off already in a bad spot. Looks like he had a pylon hit on the very first pylon. So you can see, yep, and a high penalty down the track. So there is 5 seconds of penalty added to Juan Velarde's time. That simply is not going to get the job done. Matt Hall laying down a good time, but he also had a penalty. Matt Hall hardly ever has penalties, by the way. But he had a penalty for flying too high through gate number, looks like it was gate number 8. We'll see all that again on the replay. Here we go for the augmented reality replay. Let's check this out one more time. Started off fine, but Juan Velarde hit the gate right off the pylon, right off the gate, pardon me. So that's a 3-second penalty. All right, they're going through gate number 4. Everything looks good here, but check out Juan Velarde. He's not pulling as hard as Matt Hall. And because you don't pull as hard, you're not going to round that corner as quickly. Matt Hall with a comfortable lead going through gate number 5. Again, you can see Matt Hall is just a cleaner line as he sets himself up now for gate number 6. Yep, looking good. So far, we do have some penalties, with Juan Velarde having a penalty for hitting the pylon. Coming back through here, we're going to go to gate number 8. And this is where it looks like we have too high from Matt Hall. Yes, it was. That's his 2-second penalty. And down to gate number 9, setting up here. Looks like Juan Velarde is going to have a little bit of an issue here. Another penalty. You can see he was clearly too high on gate number 9. They're pulling over the top for the sprint to the finish, so all the penalties are adding up for Juan Velarde, but still it doesn't make a difference because Matt Hall was ahead. If you look at his raw time of 59 and change versus Juan Velarde of 61 and change, that proves the story right there. All right.
Quarterfinal, Heat B.
Pretty happy with quali. Yeah, I put down a nicer ripper time there, so I'm pretty happy with that. I've done a couple of faster runs, so I'm trying to replicate that. Just trying to be more consistent through the racing. So I'm still learning and still improving. So we've got a couple more yet to run. So we'll see what I can do.
Yeah, the race 2 track, to me, it's quite technical. That's I have to say. It's really busy. You have to really work in the airplane, and you have no time to rest, really. On the other side, we're trying to keep the system running on a good level, which when the airplane is upside down, it's not working perfectly well. But from a technical point of view, I would say that the track is really nice, but hard.
All right, here we go for quarterfinal number 2, Heat B. Emma McDonald, the rookie, versus Peter Kopstein, the veteran. And Emma McDonald does have a little problem. She's going to have some handicap added to her time due to atmospheric conditions, but that's not a problem. She knows how to handle that situation. Now, interesting enough, Emma is flying the the MXS Racer, not a two-place airplane. She's flying the MXS Racer, of course, which used to be Matt Hall's airplane. Peter is in the Edge 540. Here they go, diving in. We're looking for 200 knots. Yep, pretty close. That's fine. You don't want to exceed it. Good entry. Very tight so far. As they're going down to gate number 4, another turn. It's supposed to be a low turn, but you can go high if you want to, as long as you maintain a minimum altitude of 250 feet. Coming back through gate 5. Whoa, that's super interesting, as we saw a complete change in direction from Peter Kopstein versus Emma McDonald. Emma's out front because she did more of a vertical turn, whereas Peter does a flat turn to the right. All right, coming back in now. Looks like we're going to set up for gate number 6. No, there's 7. Gate number 8. I got a little behind there. Still neck and neck. Very close race here. Oh my gosh, Peter, what are you doing? All right, Emma McDonald is just cleaner around that final turn. They're setting up now for gate number 9. Here it is, up and over the top. And you can see that Emma is just that much faster, and she pulled away at the second half. Still a very tight race. Let's look for the official results. Nicely flown by Emma McDonald. The rookie, there's Peter, feels probably pretty good about it, but I just question some of his decision-making there. There's Emma. She feels confident as well. Of course, they don't know how the results shake out at this point. We're just looking at live video. There's the final, push for home. No penalties on this race. And there's Peter. It's a close race, no doubt about it. Oh yeah, well, I lied. There was a penalty. 2 seconds for Peter Kopstein. Let's see what that was. I believe it was flying too high. I'll get to that guy. Yes, it was. And that's a shame because without that 2-second penalty, it would have been much, well, quite frankly, he may have possibly won the race. Let's look at that replay here. There they are diving in. You're looking for 200 knots. That's the goal. Looks really good at the beginning here. Really solid. You know, it's neck and neck at this point. So watch this. You must be at least 250 feet. They go a little bit higher. Now they're still tight, but watch what Peter does. Peter's in the silver airplane, the more silver, the one on the left. He takes this weird line where he's going to go to the right. See how far he flies to the right, where Emma goes more directly down the racetrack. That's where Emma picked up that advantage. You can see it come through gate number 6 here. Up and over the top again, and she continues to maintain that lead. Peter's going to get a too high penalty here coming up. See that here in just a second. They're still very, very tight as they're going through gate number 8, almost neck and neck. The Again, Emma taking a very, very aggressive turn on gate number 8. Coming down to gate number 9. One more turning maneuver. Watch her go vertically up and over. Peter's going to do that sidewinder turn. I don't know what he was thinking right there. That just scrubs off just a little bit of speed. And the end result is this. Without that 2-second penalty, I do believe it would have been tight. Well, nonetheless,
Quarterfinal,
we move on
Heat
to quarterfinal.
C.
And with me racing here and the other guys all over the world, you can't actually tell, who's got what conditions. So you've got to make the best of what you have. Obviously, we go as fast as we can every time we start the engine, and you try and put as much information and training into, the next lap, the next token, the next race.
It's a combination of choices, and you have to be on the right spot at the right moment with the good elements mostly on your side if you want to perform well. But the most important was to fly fast, safe, and efficiency was our keywords, and we did our best.
All right, here we go. Patrick Davidson and Mika Brajo. Look at the handicap, basically a dead heat. So they had very similar atmospheric conditions when they physically flew this racetrack. So this ought to make for, hey, who's the better pilot today? Mika flying an MXS racer. Patrick Davidson back to the Edge 540. Of course, Patrick flies a lot of different airplanes, but the Edge 540 he's really getting comfortable with as he continues on in the Air Race X series. All right. They're ready. They're cleared onto the track. Let's see what we got. Two completely separate starting lines. Oh, my gosh. But very good. Right at 200 knots. No one's exceeded that start speed yet. How close do you want it, folks? Oh, my gosh. This is absolutely a dead heat so far. As we have Mika Brajo and Patrick Davidson competing head-to-head, although Mika does a very strange turn there. Comes in at an odd angle. That was Patrick that kind of took the lead just then. Not too sure why he would have done that. Carrying on through the rest of the race course, it looks like it's a fair lead now for Patrick Davidson. There goes Mika Brajo in second place. Have a few more gates to go. So far, penalty-free, which is always important. There's that gate number 9 up and over the top. Looks like it's going to be a hard press to the finish. But in this case, no contest. Patrick Davidson well ahead of Mika Brajo. I'll tell you what, they started off really, really tight. And then Mika Brajo just somehow lost something. Not too sure what it was. There's Mika Brajo getting his data from his airplane to send to headquarters. Good shot there. Patrick Davidson, he feels pretty comfortable. Now, he's been very consistent flying this track in the 60s. There's Patrick Davidson through the finish line. And that's a pretty good distance there, folks, that he has over Mika Brajo. Oh, yeah. No penalties and a 4-second delta. 4 seconds faster was Patrick Davidson than Mika Brajo. And remember, their handicap was more or less even. So you look at their raw times down there, 61.28 and 65.73. That just shows you how much cleaner it was. Well, let's see if we can see what happened on the replay. 200 knots, great start speed. Really, really smooth through the first 4 gates. You have to make a good turning maneuver here. This is where you have to make a decision. They're still neck and neck. Oh, I see. Patrick. Oh, my goodness. It looks like Mika pulled a little too hard and possibly stalled the airplane. That is my opinion, and I'm sticking with it. That looks like that's exactly what happened there. Yeah, that cost him some speed because that was a big difference in times. You see 2 race pilots taking different angles back into gate number 6. Gate number 8. Coming back through for a long push now to gate number 9. There's a huge, huge lead now for Patrick Davidson. It's just impossible to make that up. There's gate number 8, pardon me. And coming back into gate number 9. Patrick Davidson comfortably flying. Feeling very comfortable on that Edge 540. One more turning maneuver, and it's too late now for Mika. It looked like they started exactly the same. In my humble opinion, I think Mika may have slightly stalled the airplane. When you do, you have to release the G, and that's going to take an incredible amount of speed away from you.
Quarterfinal, Heat D.
I maybe better not tell for now about what modification is, but the plane is definitely going faster than the race one. So, and all the system to help the pilot is improving. So I'm quite relaxed in the cockpit and just pull hard and go hard. That's it. But it feels easier than race one for now.
Dear Air Race fans all around the world, speed, precision, adrenaline, every second counts. This is Air Race X. Join my journey through the skies.
Okay, the race I personally have been anticipating, Martin Shanka versus Yoshi Moroya. And the reason is, look at that, the handicap times are pretty similar, so no one really gets a big advantage over the other guy. But the reason is these are both highly experienced pilots for one. But secondly, Martin has not been laying down the times in qualifying and in practice that I know he can do. Yoshi, well, he's Yoshi. He's Mr. Consistent. He's usually right within a fraction of a second on every single run. All right, here they come. All right, holy moly, is that neck and neck. And they came in at almost the exact same speed. I really expect a good race here, and they're neck and neck again, going through gate number 4, the first turning maneuver, and they use the exact same line. Coming back through gate number 5, another turning maneuver, and it looks like Yoshi's taking a little bit of a lead now, so Martin's going to have to find something. There goes gate number 6 again, way down at the end. Another turning maneuver, but Martin finds a good strategy there. He pulled very hard, and it looks like he's starting to catch on Yoshi just a little bit. There's 7. Here comes 8. That's a start-finish. All right, looking pretty good. Martin Shanka gaining some altitude. Look at Yoshi pulling 11. Jeez, oh my goodness. But Martin Shanka really trying to find something here, and that's a hard pull by Martin. This ought to be an interesting race to the finish. It looks like Yoshi has it, but Martin's coming downhill. He's going to gain on him. Check out this final pass. Yoshi Moroya is the winner, but that was a good one. There's Martin Shanka. His much, much better time than he'd been posting in his previous runs. Remember, they started off neck and neck, and then Yoshi just kind of ran away with it. It was very close. Let's take a look at the replay. Let's take a look at the finish. See, I mean, that's pretty darn close. I mean, these airplanes are going, almost 200 knots. So you're talking less than a second is separating them. Yoshi Moroya with a 61.13 versus 62.05. It's very, very, very close in terms of actual the timing around the track. So I'll tell you what, it just comes down to the game of inches. Let's take a look again at the replay and see if we can see what happened where. Again, it's penalty free, so that's always good. They came in at very similar start speeds, doing the similar angles and a similar strategy through the first 4 gates, the chicane, if you will. They have to do a minimum turn here, a low turn. 250 feet is the minimum altitude. They both do about the same thing. Now they're neck and neck again. Yoshi's plane might just be a little faster than Martin's. I don't know, because nothing that I see at this point is an error made by Martin, although right there he looks like he's got an advantage over Yoshi. But Yoshi just can turn so tight, it's almost uncanny. There's Yoshi again, getting up to gate number 6 ahead of Martin. Here is where Martin, I think, should have been a little more aggressive. Yoshi was a much, much faster turn because he was pulling much harder than Martin, and that gives him the separation. Going into gate number 8, they're going to have very similar turning styles here. Both pulling, Yoshi's doing a much lower turn. It is a low turn maneuver. But here we go, down to gate number 9. Most pilots choose to do a half Cuban, if you will, which is what they're both doing here. There's no requirement on the type of turn, as long as it's a high turn, which it is. And there's a final sprint to the finish with Yoshi taking over the spot and carrying on to the semifinals. Great race, no doubt about it. Much improved time for Martin Shanka, just was not quite enough when you're up against the fastest qualifier. So there they are. Emma on the left, Patty on the right, Yoshi and Matt Hall, they are carrying on to the semifinals. We're all excited. Nice view of Emma McDonald there. And Matt Hall from Australia. There's Patrick Davidson and the Red Bull Optima airplane. Pardon me, Optima. Number 31, there's Yoshi, our fastest qualifier, safely through to the semifinals. It's going to be a great matchup. And these are the folks that just wasn't their day. There's Martin. He flew well, he flew better, but just wasn't quite enough. Yeah, he's disappointed, I get it. Because he did pretty well in the first race. There's Juan Velarde. He did great on the first race, but he's not going to get the World Series points that he is looking for. Nice view of Matt. And there's Mika. Mika's been consistently not doing as well as I had thought he would. And finally, Peter Kopstein bringing up the 8th position. So they're all looking for World Series points. That's what it's all about. Peter's a little confused there. There's Mika and Juan talking things over. Well, they're going to have to do it another day. They're talking about it, but it just didn't quite work. So those two folks right there, Mika and Juan, going to go out and buy themselves some aerobatics now.
In previous races, Matt has shown overwhelmingly fast turns. His sharp and precise turns have a feeling akin to being on rails in automotive racing. Is there a similar sensation of gripping the air?
People have often commented about my level turns and vertical turns being on the rails there. I'm not sure why that is. I just fly by feel. I don't use any of the instruments when I do my turns. It's all by my gut feel and just feeling the aircraft. But I often surprise myself. I'll be going right up to the G limits. If the G limit's 12, I'll be going to 11.8, 11.9. If the G limit's 11, like it was in the air race, I'll be going to 10.9. So I've been pulling high G for about 36 years between my Air Force career and race career, so I think I've just got a good feel for it by now.
As a rookie, Emma has shown remarkable performance. For her, it has been normal to compete on courses without physical pylons from the start.
Being a rookie and the first time doing racing in an aeroplane at low level is dangerous. So having Matt there as a supervisor to make sure that I am safe in the track is certainly key for me, especially because that's one of my 3 objectives that I have for racing at the moment is to fly safe, fly clean, and have fun. So that safety is a massive element for me, and having Matt there is certainly my biggest reason, and I'm glad that he's there.
I think Emma's engineering background is great for her with racing. Being a diesel fitter, she knows how engines work, she knows how machinery works, and she gets the most out of the aircraft because of that.
There are so many strengths that he has, but certainly one that really stands out to me is his focus and discipline.
I think Air Race X really hones in the precision of the pilot. Back in Red Bull days, it was actually easier because you just flew around the pylons. We now have to plan our exact ground track to get it right, and you have to be accurate.
So I visualise every aspect of the race through little pylons that we put on the ground, but in also visualizing what I'm seeing, what I'm feeling. So I'm pulling G at the same time I'm going to pull G. So I'm visualizing every aspect. So for the younger generation wanting to get into aviation, whether it be a race pilot or any airline pilot or anything like that, is certainly take yourself to an air show and go check it out. There's so many variations of aviation at an air show, and certainly Air Race X, if you can jump online to the YouTube and watch the broadcast and see what we're doing out there, that'll certainly give you an insight into what we do and a little bit of behind the scenes on what's involved.
Throughout my whole race career, I've always liked S-turns and chicanes, so being low and manoeuvring at low level and staying level up against pylons. That's always been the best part for me. We do oblique turns and vertical turns and those sorts of things, and they're good for getting around a corner, but the most pure form of flying for me in the racetrack is when I'm level and I'm riding the magic carpet through the track.
So to have air racing allows me to chase my dream in my career. Sorry, that was all a bit funky. Lost it.
Air Race X 2024 Series Semi-Final. Heat A.
My personal opinion is there's a lot more risk. Any turn, if you want to be fast, means you've got to be pretty close to the edge, so there's a high risk of over G. The other aspect is obviously not getting the turn right, whether it's a low turn or a high turn, there's certain criteria which needs to be met. So there's a lot more risk on my shoulders as a pilot. It's not about just going fast, there's a bit of feel that's got to go with it too. So I think the track, in my view, is more difficult than the previous.
There's 5 turns in this track that all need to be done with getting to altitude limits and a deadline. So there's a couple of new challenges in this track that we haven't seen before in Air Race X. So it's all about just getting the right amount of G in the track and getting the angle correct to not get a penalty in each gate as you're going into the turn.
So here they are. Patrick Davidson squares off against Matt Hall, and Matt made a very good point. They do have a deadline in this racetrack, and that is going to be from the start-finish area, gate number 1, which is also going to be gate number 6. But that's why you're going to see the pilots often turn away, turn right, or go directly over the top versus making a left-hand turn, which would clearly put them over the deadline, and that's a DNF. So we do have that additional thing to contend with. All right, here we go, folks, as they jump on to, whoa, crisscross. 2 different angles to start, although their speeds are exactly the same, 198 knots. I can't tell who's in the lead right now. It looks like very similar G right there. It looks like Patty's in the lead. Hard to tell right now. Yeah, it looks like Pat Davidson's in the lead. We got Matt Hall coming over the top. Looking really strong right now. It's neck and neck as they go down to the gate number 5. Pardon me, 6. Here's gate number 7. Pass through cleanly. That's the important thing. There's gate number 8. Another big turn, high G turn. All right, just 2 gates left, 9 and 10. It's pretty close. Looks like Patrick's got him by a nose. Oh, that's a big looping maneuver by Patrick Davidson. Matt Hall making a very faster turn. This is going to be close, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, my gosh. How close do you like it? It's a photo finish. And it looks like it's Patrick Davidson by a nose. We're going to have to see the replay and the actual slow-mo. I cannot believe it. That's them flying in real time at their home airports. So it looks like Patrick had a little rain to deal with at the end of his run, but he's happy. Look how close this is, Air Race fans. There's nothing more exciting than Air Race X. Check this out. 59.71, 60.71, just a fraction of a second different, no penalties. That is Air Race X at its finest. And our first pilot to set a track record less than 60 seconds. Nice round of applause to Patrick Davidson from South Africa, number 77. And let's see where it all transpired. Let's check this race out one more time. This is our augmented reality replay. Interesting how they crisscross there, obviously. They're not flying together in real time, but it makes for good visual effects. As they go through the first 4 gates, through the chicane, they're pretty much neck and neck. Although you see a weird different angle for Patrick Davidson versus Matt Hall. Patrick gains that advantage now. He's got the yellow on the front of his airplane. Over the top. Actually, that's a very good turn right there. Now they're still neck and neck. Although differing angles for the two pilots as they come over the top. For one more turning maneuver. That was actually, I believe, I said that incorrectly. No, looks like Patrick Davidson's still in the lead. They go through gate number 8. Big wide turn for Matt Hall. Coming into gate number 9, they're spread out just a little bit, but watch Matt Hall here as he really yanks on that airplane. He's in second position. Watch how he gains so much speed rolling downhill. Now it's a sprint to the finish. If they went 10 more meters, Matt Hall would have been your victor. But it was Patrick Davidson literally by a nose. What a great race.
Semi-final, Heat B.
Everything is ready for race 2, and my feeling for now is really good and ready to go. So just stick with the plan and stay calm and waiting for the calm conditions and go for it.
Certainly different track, this one. The first one had a lot of, it had the chicane in it, so there's a lot of that nice rhythm. With this one, there's a lot of vertical turn maneuvers, and it's very easy to get a penalty for not being high enough in your vertical turns. So there is quite a bit of a challenge there, and the race line too can change depending on your wind. You can attack this quite a number of ways. So it's quite an interesting track, and I've been really enjoyed trying to find that line.
Well, there you have it, trying to find that line. Isn't that what it's all about? Yoshi Miroya versus Emma McDonald, the rookie Emma McDonald, trying to make it into the finals and get those precious World Series points. Yoshi, the veteran. Now remember, Yoshi's so consistent, and but he does have a little bit of a disadvantage, pardon me, to an advantage over Emma on the atmospheric conditions. So that's not good news for Emma, but we'll see how they do. All right, here we go. On to the final semifinal. All right, neck and neck. 196, 198. Looking very strong right now as they complete the chicane. Now that's Yoshi out in the lead just slightly. You don't want to see him in the lead that early. Oh man, what a turn by Yoshi Miroya. They're choosing different lines. Through gate number 5. Another turning maneuver, all required by the rules, and they are making an error-free flight so far. The MXS airplane is slightly behind Yoshi at this point, but she still has some time to make up some ground if she can. Gate number 7, here's gate number 8. Pretty tight so far between Yoshi and Emma, but look at how Yoshi just pulls that airplane. He has a knack, 11.2 Gs. Remember, he has to stay under 12 Gs. But 11.2 Gs, he really gained some time over Emma on that turn through gate number 8. Sprint to the finish, and yes, Yoshi Miroya carries on, wins his semifinal heat, and we will see him in the final versus Patrick Davidson. There's Emma. Great run by the rookie. Going to be her best finish by far. But there's Yoshi. Yeah, he's smiling. He knows. He knows what he's done. Let's see the final pass through the gates. The finish line. It's pretty close. You got to hand it to the rookie, Emma. There's Yoshi. I mean, that's fractions of a second, folks. We'll get the official time in just a moment, but Oh, yeah. I mean, 0 penalties. There was the handicap. Didn't help her out that much. But if you look at the run time, just the raw time, they're basically off by a second. Just a second separates Yoshi from Emma. The big question now is, I wonder if Emma's time was faster than Matt Hall. And if that's the case, that would put her on the podium in 3rd position. We'll have to see later. I don't know. Let's see the replay now. They start off neck and neck. There they go. Yoshi, once he gets that lead, like right there, he's 0.6 of a second ahead. Coming into the first turn maneuver, see how Yoshi just really keeps that airplane low. That's a low turn maneuver, and he is exercising his privilege to keep that as low as possible, as long as it's 250 feet or higher. Emma's doing the vertical turning maneuver. See how high she gets right there? Yoshi kept it low. And that is going to make this, the track a lot shorter for Yoshi and allow him to get some separation. She still does a great job coming out of gate number 9. But it all comes down to the final push for home. Got a little ahead of myself there. There's gate number 8. Now we have 2 more gates to go. And Yoshi comfortably in the lead. She's done some pretty good turning and maneuvers on the second half of the course, but it was that through gate number 5, I think, is the one that kind of got her. And gate number 5 and 6. All right, final push for home. Yoshi's got the lead. We know the end results, but what a great race. Yoshi Moria carries on to the final to face the South African Patrick Davidson. There's a live view of Patrick Davidson in his airplane. All smiles as he knows he's going to the finals. His team is really quite good. That's what helps Patrick out. He's got a great team there in South Africa. So he has some business. There's Yoshi, calm, cool, and collected, as is typical. Very, very consistent. You can see on the ground, you saw those markers. That's how the pilots know where the pylons are. See the markers down there to the left? That's how they know where the pylons are located, physically speaking. Of course, Yoshi's done a great job. There he is, getting all the telemetry downloaded, giving him the race results. And it turns out Matt Hall did get 3rd place. I don't believe it. He was slightly faster than Emma McDonald. Even though he lost, someone has to come in 3rd. So he's excited. There he is. There's Emma. She narrowly missed, so she will finish no higher than 4th. It's all a function now. Who's going to be the Air Race X champion, race number 2?
Air Race X 2024 Series Final.
Yeah, so last time we got through and got knocked out by Yoshi, so yeah, I'd like to return the favor.
What he's referring to is on the previous race, Yoshi knocked him out and prevented him from going to the final. At least in this case, he gets redemption because he gets to go against Yoshi one more time, but this for the all-in-all outright title of Air Race X champion, race number 2. They are very similar atmospheric conditions, so no one gets a huge advantage over anyone else. Patrick on the left, Yoshi on the right. Now remember, a time of around 60 seconds is good, but we saw Patrick throw down that 59. Yoshi hasn't gotten that fast yet, so I don't know who to root for here. We're just going to look for an exciting race, but if Patrick holds true, the smart money would tell you if he's going to run another 59, he should win the race. No one's gone as fast as Patrick so far. All right, here we go. Totally separate angles as they come in there. Yoshi, a more direct angle. Patrick doing one more time that kind of a coming in sideways, which is not a problem. They're neck and neck going through the first low turn maneuver. Looking very, very nice, as you can see. They're setting up through gate number 5. Another turn maneuver. And all the way down to the end of the course for gate number 6. They have to do a turn. Oh, very interesting how they both did the vertical turning maneuver. I like it. Pretty tight so far, but Yoshi's got a little bit of a lead. It's not over yet, folks, as they go through gate number 7. Now, here it is, gate number 8. This is the one where you have to choose a strategy. They both have similar strategies, and Patrick was just a little bit behind. All right, final push home, gate number 9. Yoshi really pulling hard, but look at Patrick right on his tail. Patrick Davidson, this could be a sprint to the finish, folks. 2 separate lines. Who's going to win? It's Yoshi Moroya, your champion, air race number 2. Man, that was close. And a 57-second time. Are you kidding me? Check this out. There goes Yoshi, and just a fraction of a second behind is Patrick. That is incredible. Oh my gosh! 57.68 track record, 58.6. That's Patrick's personal record on this race course. That, again, is what Air Race X is all about. The 2 fastest times flown ever on this racetrack came in the finals, and let's see how they did it. All right, they're coming in. 2 separate angles. I love it. Patrick Davidson trying to cut the corner to set up for pylon number 2 and 3 through the chicane. Now, they're pretty close right here. I still can't get over those fast times. But see how Patrick just kind of was a little late on his turn. He began his turning maneuver a fraction of a second behind Yoshi. And that gives Yoshi this separation that he's looking for. However, Patrick Airplane is very, very fast, and Patrick has a very good strategy when it comes down here to pylon number 6. Over the top. Watch Patrick. He's the one on the left. Well, he's the one on the left. Yes, that's correct. As he's gaining on Yoshi, going through gate number 7. And it all comes down to this turn here. Turn on gate number 8. Patrick, again, getting too much altitude. He needs to step on that bottom rudder and get that nose pointed towards the ground. Yoshi's very good at that. As they go through the final gate for a turning maneuver, they both choose the same strategy. And Patrick does figure it out, but it's just too little too late as he starts to gain ground on Yoshi here. It's a sprint to the finish, and Yoshi has him by a plane length or 2. What a great race. Outstanding 57.68 track record, unbelievable. He hadn't flown anywhere near that in any previous run that he has accomplished on this racetrack. There's Yoshi. Yeah, he knows it. Number 1, baby. Great race from Yoshi. Patrick Davidson certainly had a good race as well, but Yoshi all smiles in the Team Yoshi Moroya camp as he congratulates his team for helping him win the race. All right, so that's how it all laid out. Remember, we talked about Matt Hall narrowly beating Emma McDonald by just a fractions of a second to get that 3rd podium spot. On 2nd is Patrick Davidson. He was trying to return the favor of beating Yoshi from the previous knockout round, but Yoshi got him 2 in a row. Yoshi Moroya, the winner, is going to make for some interesting drama to see how all the point systems are going to shake down, like who's going to be in 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. There's the official results. Again, the 3rd and 4th position, Matt Hall and Emma McDonald, was basically a dead heat, but Matt Hall got Emma by just a fraction of a second. Martin Shanka had his best run of the afternoon, but sadly still lost his quarterfinal shot. But it did get him into 5th position. Mika, Peter, and Juan Velarde not doing so well on race number 2. I'm very surprised at Juan. There's our point standings so far in 2024. I'll tell you what, winning a race, that's 25 points, folks. And when you win qualifying, that's 8. That's why Yoshi's way up there with 59 points. Matt Hall, he won the first race and got 3rd in this race, which is great. He's sitting there just a few points behind Yoshi Moroya. But look at old Patty. Patrick Davidson had a lot of points this race. 23 points in total. That's from a good qualifying run and an overall 2nd place. There's Martin Shanka down in 6th position. He got 9 points the first race, 10 here. But if Martin just had a few extra points on that qualifying, that would have helped him out immensely. So that's where we stand going into the third race of the 2024 series. All right, there's our race calendar. The next race, October 19th, it's a digital round in Shibuya. Today's Ito round was another remote round. This one's in the books. Looking forward to that next race. We're going to have some surprises for you. But what's some of the great video and some of the great pictures from our race here today in Japan? It's been so much fun being your host, calling the action. My name's Mike Galloway. I'm looking forward to race number 3. I hope you guys are too. Until then, see you, race fans.